Good morning, everyone. Yes, it's happy, lazy Sunday. I hope everyone can enjoy the Sabbath day. It was yesterday as well. Yes, for some people. For some people, it's a different day of the week that they are off and get to relax at home. This due to the job they have, due to okay, it is what it is today. But I explained that before, right? Make time for a Sabbath day. Yes, as best as possible. And if it has to be a different day than Sunday or Saturday, depending on what you believe in, then fine. Yes, as long as you make time for what and who. Yes. Couple of things I just saw. One, very disturbing. And I shared it on my Facebook page as well. Mom observed at a playground, a new playground, where a public bathroom, and she went into do something and opened one of the stalls, and there was a man just standing in there. He wasn't doing anything; he was just standing in there, and she first said, "Oh, I'm sorry," because she walked in on him, but then, well, what's this guy doing in there? And she said she went back out and looked around to see if there was a camera, maybe that he was filming the girls or something, or his boys, who knows. And then she went back out to her children and saw him come out, sit at a picnic table, and watched the bathroom, kept watching the bathroom, and saw many 4 to 6 year old little girls going by themselves and warned the parents, don't do that anymore. Just don't. It looked like that guy was waiting for a little girl that he could take advantage of. You can't tell me that you don't know what's going on out there right now. And again, under what kind of danger our children are under, and how much more that's being made possible now with the just absolute unreasonable demands that some people have out there when it comes to eh, privacy in a bathroom, or who's supposed to go in there, this, that. Just saying. So here, she teared. I mean, I've watched her talking about it and on how worried she is for everyone's little girls out there. And that's exactly how we should be. We should be worried about our children out there. And that parents, really, you're really willing to take a chance with your own little child. Huh? People willing. Yeah? And then when it happens, huh? You're going to be happy. That's when you wake up. Unbelievable. Anyway, grateful for mothers like that, and who end up what? Instead of having a good time with their own children, not having to worry. I would have called the cops. I would have immediately called the cops and said, we got someone here that's got ill intentions. Done. Done. A man, I don't care how you're dressed, doesn't belong in a women's bathroom. Done. Anybody sees something like that, you call the police. You call the cops. Done. We're talking about the safety and lives of children, little girls. That don't mean anything to anyone. Those lives don't matter. Okay, gotcha. Wonderful. So then, here we are on happy lazy Sunday. It's going to be on my mind all day. I'll be praying, just please, sending angels to all these bathrooms now that have become what? Cesspool for perverted. Okay, Daniela, I know. As a good person, you constantly have to rein yourself in as a good person. You constantly have to remember to walk the proper path, to go with the laws that are there as a proper person. You don't want to get pulled down into the just ugh, world of these just evil people. Done. Okay. And so many are supporting them out there. Yes, they are. Unbelievable. Oh, on a lighter note, saw another one of math challenge. I'm looking at the problem guns. How is that a challenge? And again, it had different the uh, signs of math. Multiplication, division, and addition. That was and parentheses. Some of it, and there's one answer for that. Done. Okay. Again, and people came up with that other answer. How the heck did they get that? And what if they were in a grocery store and it happened to be, okay, now we're doing now how you get your money back for what you give in this kind of math way, okay, math challenge. I sure would hope that most people would get the right answer, because otherwise you'd be cheated out of a lot of money, okay? So, just saying, it's like, don't you people know anymore how to do proper math out there? Just because, oh yeah, well, but we could do it this way now. Yeah, but then how's that going to work? Where do people apply math when it comes to reality in life? Then you're going to want the same answer from everyone, right? When it comes to certain things, like money, like building something, you've got to have this. I'm going to go to the store, so I need, you know, so many of that length, and then divide it by that, but then I have to add this to it, right? So I got to first do that part first, and then I'm going to get the proper amount of wood that I need. Now, if you don't solve that properly, right, and according to this particular math problem, which the right answer was 16, a lot of people got 1, so you're going to end up with 1 foot rather than the 16 feet you need, right? Okay, fine. Go with that then. How silly. And our children are learning all this confusion. Again, even in math. Why start confusion like that? Huh? So it's inclusive math or something? Oh my gosh. It's so weird. People are becoming so weird out there. Well, anyway. So, simple example with math. We're going, no, it is what it is, right? And this is how it was established in order to have an order when it comes to that type of reality in our life, math. Right? Yes, done. Anyway, so there it is. Big difference between 16 and 1, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. We're in a new book today, starting on Sunday, the Sabbath day. Oh, I like that. Oh. All right, let's see. Let me just mark this already. Oh, we have a 4-word here as well, which we're going to read. It seems to kind of be important to do that. I also had, with my husband here, we were alone with the grandchildren, so the parents could go do their thing for the weekend. Well, we wore them out, but they wore us out too. It was harder to have just the 2 by themselves than all 4 that I had the whole week. I'm not kidding. But we have a nice place now where we can go, right? Yes, save the water, go down to the creek. It's nice, all open. Found a little water hole as well where they can swim, actually. Wonderful. Uh-huh, there. Oh, great. Yep, they went to bed early and they're still asleep. And it's, what now? 7? Oh, let's go back here. The book of Joshua. The first book of the Deuteronomic history begins by recounting the conquest of the Promised Land. It gives the impression of a sweeping and quick victory by Yahweh and his lieutenant Joshua, a way of stressing that Israel owes its land to Yahweh. In fact, almost all the stories of conquest concern the territories of the small tribe of Benjamin and contain folk traditions of the tribe. Oh, this is, as I said, like a foreword. Many of them give historical reasons for notable features of the countryside. The two stories to explain a group of stones in the Jordan and at Gilgal, or the explanation of the spectacular ruin at Ai. Ai. The story of the destruction of Jericho is presented as a religious, almost liturgical act to emphasize that Yahweh alone is responsible for the victory and to relate this fine empty site, in fact destroyed long before, to the conquest. Oh, that's interesting, you see. Other biblical passages make clear that large tracts remained too strong for Israel until David's time. And even in the course of this conquering progress, there are warnings when victories turn to defeat because of disobedience to Yahweh's commands. The distribution of land by Joshua in the second part of the book is a formal justification of the later holdings of the tribes and theoretical boundaries of the Holy Land. Theoretical, okay? Since cities of refuge were not instituted before Solomon's time, this list must also be later. The title of all the tribes to their ancestral land was its grant by Yahweh through his servant Joshua. Oh, interesting. In fact, the land was acquired in many different ways. Some elements in Israel never went down to Egypt, some infiltrated peacefully, some invaded from the south, only some with Joshua from the east. The great assembly at Shechem, which forms the conclusion of the book, seals the religious bonds of the various Semitic groups in Palestine which joined Joshua and thus commit themselves to his victorious God. Huh. Now, just in this short preface kind of thing, what are we hearing here? Oh, yes. Now that's more like, right? Yeah. Oh, there we go. All right. So, again, but what are we getting here, and why are we getting it in the way that we're getting it? Like, it's interesting. I said. Yeah, okay. The Book of Joshua. Super Chapter 1, the conquest of the Promised Land. The preparations. So, sounds like to me that in a way, right, history was a bit rewritten when it came to writing it all down. I've also asked, what did they not, and how things went? Did they not have stories that were verbally or written down, given then to the descendants, told to the children on the miraculous leave from Egypt and what they all experienced, right? Do the stories change? To what? To look more victorious and how great they were and how fierce and I don't know what. Yeah? Folk tales, right? And all that kind of stuff. What are they? Right? Yeah. Kernel of truth in there, but a lot of it made up. Okay. All right. The summons to enter the promised land. When Moses, servant of Yahweh, was dead, Yahweh spoke again, dead, went to spirit world. Yahweh spoke to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' adjutant. He said, Moses, my servant is dead. Go now and cross this Jordan, you and this whole people, into the country which I am giving to them, the Israelites. Every place you tread with the soles of your feet I shall give you, as I declared to Moses that I would. from the desert and the Lebanon to the great river and the Euphrates, the entire country of the Hittites, and as far as the great sea to westward, is to be your territory. As long as you live, no one will be able to resist you. I shall be with you as I was with Moses. I shall not fail you or desert you. It seems to me, so again, we already know from the preface, that's not true. People did resist, right? But it seems to me, again, that God always is speaking from the ideal, not necessarily of what there was. But this is what God is all about the ideal. Right? Brings me, what do I talk about beforehand? The math problem. Right? You can't, the ideal is one answer. Right? The ideal is the proper answer. Why? Well, because that serves everybody the best, the absolute best. Right? Yes. No reason to argue over it. No reason to be unhappy about it. Right? It is just as it is. And that's how God is. That's who God is. Right? So, always speaking from the ideal. No one will resist you if you follow exactly what I gave you. Exactly the instructions that I gave you. The guidelines that I gave you. Right? People will not be able to resist you. Why can't people resist? And they see a fantastic group of people who are so dedicated, because there's something that emanates from a good group of people that others would like to be a part of. Unless, of course, you're a destructor who doesn't like things like that. So confused, isn't it? Yes, and no doubt, spiritually, absolutely in the negative influenced, then you're going to want to destroy that. How is it? These amazing stories out there of people who find their way to Jesus, find their way to God, how their life changes. It's every time the same thing. And they have this need to give the story. Yes? Whereas, so good is out in the open. Good doesn't have to hide anything. Yeah, evil's starting to, right? Well, it's because, why? Greater and greater groups attaching themselves to that. I have no idea why. I have no idea why a parent would attach themselves to beliefs or sudden ways of, sounds good, but it's not, of thinking, supporting people who are absolutely just, I can't call it anything. It's just evil. It's not good. And through that, are putting their own children at risk, other people's children at risk. Right? Not getting that. Where's the happiness that if you support something like that, like, well, that man dressed as a man, this, that, could, well, I'm a woman. He identifies as a woman who wants to abuse girls. Well, so be it. They have to have a place in the world too, don't they? Yes? Now something happens to one of your little girls while you're supporting stuff like this. You're going to be in a happy place? Because that's what goes with it. You're going to be in that happy place? Just asking. Are people going to be in a happy place? And something then suddenly happens to that. Because you're not attached to a good group of people who supports each other in goodness. Right? Yes? In the ideal of what? God's point of view. How you're supposed to live together. Right? And find solutions to, yes, people who are off their rails. One does that together too. And hopefully death for that person is not the answer. Hopefully. I don't know how someone can get so bad to abuse a little girl. I have no idea. Just doesn't. All right. So, yes. seems to me from what I see is that a good group of people on the right path with other people and all their children together and their elderly, this and that, they protect each other. They're on a good path to, yeah, live that ideal. Try to live that ideal. And a bad group of people, that all they're waiting for is disaster for themselves. Sadly, good people sometimes are in the just right path too somehow, and then also have to suffer. But at least they weren't supporting it. Anyway, it's a weird one to me. I'm not getting it. So this is what that means. I shall not fail you or desert you. But we have to do our part there as well, right? Yes. God's help conditional on faithfulness to the law. Be strong and stand firm, for you are the man to give this people possession of the land which I swore to their ancestors that I would give them. Only be strong and stand very firm, and be careful to keep the whole law which my servant Moses laid down for you. There you go. Do not swerve from this either to right or to left, and then you will succeed wherever you go. Have the book of this law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may carefully keep everything that is written in it. Then your undertakings will prosper, then you will have success. Have I not told you, be strong and stand firm? Be fearless and undaunted, for go where you may. Yahweh, your God, is with you. So again, with the right intentions, our Father in heaven, our heavenly parents, always will be there. Always, right? Yes? Is it always going to go in our favor then? Most likely not. Why not? Because we are still working on becoming the ideal that God wants to see, right? Yes? So yes, there will still be some things. But when it comes down to it, yeah, it does. I've seen that in my own life, where I just don't give an inch anymore. It doesn't matter where it's at, more or less. If it really, when it comes down to what is right and wrong. Okay. So this, to me, so far, is interesting. So far. I hear God out of all of it now. And also, I find that reading here, this first part, on how gentle. I felt like with Moses, God had to be so, yes, find his way around the way the Israelites just wanted to do things, right? And he had to be so strict with them, regardless. I'm making a video.
Good morning.
Oh, you need coffee? Go in my room. Go look. Go help yourself, please.
Who's gonna let this dog out?
Who is it? Baby?
Big Brown.
Yeah, Big Brown. Come on, Big Brown.
No, you don't.
Thank you. Hi. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. There's. Oh, he's leaving. Okay. Let's go, baby. Oh, you couldn't close the door? She's already been out.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, take her back in. Call her back in, because I can't watch her. She's already been out. Thank you. I'll be in a little bit.
Okay.
Where was I now? So what I find here in this first part is God is much more gentle with Joshua, right? In the way that it is given. Or is someone else now giving it, right? Who wrote all this down? And where was their heart to mine? Okay, just saying. I'm noticing a difference here. Let's see if it'll continue. Support from the Transjordan tribes. Joshua then gave the people's officials this instruction: go through the camp and give the people this order. Make provisions ready, for in 3 days' time you will cross this Jordan and go on to take possession of the land which Yahweh your God is giving you as your own. Joshua then said to the Reubenites and Gadites and the half-tribe of Manasseh, remember the order given you by Moses, servant of Yahweh. Yahweh your God, in bringing you to rest, has given you the land where we are. Your wives, your little ones, and your cattle must stay in the country given you by Moses beyond the Jordan. But all you fighting men must cross in battle formation at the head of your brothers and help them, until Yahweh grants rest to your brothers and you alike, when they too have taken possession of the land which Yahweh your God is giving to them. Then you may go back and take possession of the land which belongs to you, and which Moses, servant of Yahweh, has given you on the eastern side of the Jordan. They answered Joshua, we will do whatever you order us, and wherever you send us we'll go. We obeyed Moses in everything, and now we will obey you. What an outright lie. Only oh, I can't help it. Only may Yahweh, your God, be with you as he was with Moses. So now they're worried. Moses is gone. Can you read this out of it? I can. Moses is gone, and they're worried. They're worried. So, oh, we've done so many things. And here it is, in their conscience. Their conscience is telling them, we've done some things we should not have done. Yet Moses went every time and prayed and pleaded for the people of Israel with God. And every time, they know that. They know that. Interestingly enough, they know that. Now they're worried. Moses is gone. Now it's Joshua. Is Joshua going to have the same? They trust Joshua. Right? We've kind of established that from before. Right? Yet, again, it's the people need to have a leader. Why do they need that? Because they're not willing to do their own studying. They're not willing to say, okay, every family, this is what we're going to do. And what did it say? It should always be. What did God tell Joshua? The laws, who I am, this should always be on your lips. Day and night you should be thinking about that. Yes? Yeah. So, what's God telling Joshua? And what should Joshua tell the people? You need to do this. You need to learn what the laws are of God. Then you do not have to depend on just one person continuously pleading for you when you mess up again. Yeah. We also know from the forward that some of the towns they have come through, some of the places they have come through, yeah, God did prepare. They were already laying in ruins. They didn't have to fight. Right? The people had already left for one reason or another. How would that happen? Either some disease that went through, the plagues, this seems to be already a thing. Could have wiped out a whole little town. Yes? Or some people left. Oh, went to the next town, brought the plague. Okay, right. You know how that works? Yeah. I don't get, we could get into that one, and how that works in today's world. Right? Unbelievable. I don't understand it. I have no idea how people think out there, or why they think the way they do. And not have some kind of a clear path of thought when it comes to certain things, and then action. The cause and effect of things. And that people have absolutely no foresight of that. So selfish in their behavior, so selfish in what they want and their rights, and I don't know what. And that goes for everyone. I'm not just talking about a particular group of people. When we went just a year ago, a couple of years, 3 years ago now, almost, through this horrific disease, I was flabbergasted watching the people, what they came all up with, to do or not to do. I couldn't believe it. I said, there's one clear path about this. Done. No more, no less. For the safety of everyone, for the continuation of everyone. And then support in that. And absolutely, 100% have a functional schedule around that for everyone. And if people would have done that, but some listened to that, some listened to this, that. Then people came up with their own thing, and I was just, what? How can this be? How can this be that people are so selfish out there? So selfish about what they want, rather than what is needed for everyone, regardless of if things were true or not true, hyped up or just too lowered down, yeah, made, well, it's not that bad, or whatever. What does it matter? What would have been the absolute right way to deal with a situation like that all around the world? People cannot come up with one answer. There is only one answer. And the thing, I could give it, and someone would say, yeah, but that's why I'm not going to give it. Everybody's going to have to come to that on their own. And this is exactly how it is here. And people now suddenly are worried. Why? Because they're not educated. They're not knowledgeable. Even though with all these hundreds of years already, right, they're still floundering. Now they're looking up to somebody else again, hoping again what? You'll fix it all if we're going to mess up again, right? That's what I'm reading out of this. Outright lie down here. That they followed Moses and were totally obedient and all that. That's an outright lie. Right? We could reread the rest of this all here again to prove I'm right about that. All right. So, a lot of what they went into the country, it was already bare. It was already the towns laid in ruins, and that's why they rebuilt. It's not, right? Yeah. If anyone rebels against your orders or will not listen to your commands, let him be put to death. There you go, man. Only be strong and stand firm. Oh, there you go. Right? Quick. How about, and this is again, the difference here. It could be the ideal, okay, if the people were actually starting to wake up to the greatness of God, really, when it comes down to it, realize this is the only way to go, if we want to live in peace and harmony with each other and everyone else, would be, if I rebel against your orders, or I will not listen to your commands, let me be put to death. Let me be put to death. But here it is, if someone else does it, there is the quick solution. Now, what if? What is it? Okay, I can't accept that. You look at yourself. Are you going to do it? Are you going to be the example out there? Are you and your family, your tribe, willing to be the ideal? And then teach others. You see? There is the difference right there when it comes to a lot of these things. For me, to be true, it has to be the difference. Joshua spies. Oh, well, that's it. Goodness, that was already it. Ooh, Joshua spies at Jericho. See, everything starts in the Bible. Spies, this, that. It's early in the Bible. How everything is already established. Right? Yes. Well, anywho. So there it is. It doesn't sound like the children are up already. We're going to have another beautiful day here. It's hot. Got to water the plants. I was kind of hoping I could do that with the children. I have to do it before the sun hits it, which we have a little time here, which is nice. The plants only get about half a day. A good half after about 1 o'clock. The sun hits this side, but it hits it really good. until evening time, till the sun goes down. So it's perfect. It's really actually perfect in this heat. This is the perfect place for these plants. Again, how did my daughter know where to put those exactly so that it would be the perfect? She didn't. I can guarantee you, Spirit World said, well, she's going to go up there and she's going to start another garden, right? With the children. And we want to make sure that that's going to be successful, right? Because what am I doing? I'm bringing goodness to a home, right? Are not growing organic, heirloom vegetables, fresh. Right? Children can pick straight off the vine and eat. Right? What is that? It's absolute goodness. It's absolute goodness for the children, right? And that's what it's Spirit World knows that's what she's all about. Absolute goodness for the children. For the children. No? And so I've no doubt when it came to when they were looking, I said, where are we going to put those two beds? I have no doubt that they were guided. Yes, unconsciously, subconsciously, by Spirit World. Put one there, put one there. That's the perfect spot to grow all the good things that Daniela will bring to this household. Oh, right? Yeah, well, that's how I think. There you go. And I was a little worried. We just put the plants in a couple days ago, 3 days ago. I was a little worried because it was a little later in the year and the plants were already growing a bit. Yes, so some things it's difficult to transplant, and everything is doing great. I couldn't believe that even after just a day, right? The plants were, right? And the soil's not all that great. I'm hoping I'll get a little bit of manure, right, from somewhere that the children then can feed the plants over time. I'm going to have to do it that way. And again, I was worried. This is not such great dirt. Hey, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, I figured it out. And I'm amazed on how they all, yes, of course, I was hoping, I was prepared to lose one or two. It's possible. Or more. It's one of those things. How are the plants going to like it? How are they going to respond to the environment that they're put in? What I find interesting is, and they're all doing great. As I say, well, that's a bit of a miracle right there. But what I found is when children work with plants, the plants respond differently than to adults. I'm not kidding, it's true. And they were so into it. They were so into putting those plants in the ground to prep it first. This is not an easy prep because we had to get through the grass underneath it as well. Had to. I said, guys, the plants can't grow. Those new roots or those still young roots, they're not going to be strong enough to push past the grass. So we're going to have to pull some of that through the dirt, at least where we're planting the plants. We've got to do that. And they were, oh, yeah, they understood perfectly what I was saying, and they did an amazing, all of them did an amazing job. Yes, and they did that on their own. I didn't have to, one side map is for the boys were working on that one, the other side is for the girls. Oh. People could look at it any way they want to. I didn't do that. I didn't tell them. They did. They chose. Right? Children know. They know that adults are so confused about this stuff. Flabbergasts me again. What are you going to do? I've seen so many things where say children are smarter now than adults. They are. Till they're corrupted, groomed into whatever. But before that, they just are kind of sad. Or comical, really. But I've noticed that with plants, they respond to children that are willing, that are really into it. Yes, and they even reminded you you have to be careful. And with the plants, they're still like babies. Beautiful. And then the watering. Which child doesn't love to water plants? Anyway, which reminds me, I gotta go water the front. That's what I'm gonna do right now. Huh? There you go. See, there was a reason why I needed to talk about this, because that was one of my chores. I need to go and water the front. I would have forgotten. Thanks, guys. All I can say is to everyone out there, walking with our Heavenly Parents, walking with Spirit World, the side of goodness, it's the most absolute fantastic thing you can be a part of while you live here on this earth. I would like to see that for everyone, because I know how my life is. I live an amazing life. I've lived an amazing life all my life. And yes, not everything's hunky-dory for the Israelites, with the Israelites, right? But they too are going towards something really good. What they're going to make out of it, I guess we'll find out more. Yes? How successful are they going to be? Guess we'll find out more. Yeah? Guess I'll find out. If the plants really have gotten a hold, are they doing well? Truly, we'll find out. In about a week, we'll know for sure. Yes. All right, that's all I have to share this morning. Happy Lazy Sunday, Sabbath day. God bless you. May He protect you, and I will talk to you another time.